Welcome, everyone. This is another episode. We're about to kill it once again, top it in every possible way of the real kings of pickup. Number one resource on the planet to help both men and women to thrive at all levels with love, sex, romance, success, spirituality, you name it. This is the original podcast and the longest lasting of its type in the industry since 2004. I'm Vince Hollywood Kelvin, also known as Aphrodite Prince, here with my spiritual brother, the diamond mine, greatest seducer of all time, Arash, the motherfucking Dibazar. So we got so much on the plate this month, brother. It's going to be phenomenal. It was great speaking to you earlier. All right, phenomenal. So before we take questions, I'm going to ask you the classic question, my brother. How are you doing today?
Here we go. Brother, I am, let's put it like this. I'm floating in empty space. It's dark all around me, and I look around and I see all kinds of universes and galaxies. Each one that I enter would be a person or a group of people. Now, each person themselves represents a planet with their own orbit, their own climate. Everything that we think of a planet is a person. One time in my life, I met a man who was very powerful. In fact, I met him twice. He spoke like this. He was a little Italian guy. And he actually, if you go to Reno, the casinos, the chandeliers, and all the casinos were put together by him. He was a multimillionaire, some sort of billionaire. He said to me one time like this. His name was Steve, actually. He said, every person is a planet. And you just need to know that when I die, I'm going to be a planet too. I never forgot this, Vince. And in recent times, I've been able to, I don't know if he meant what I'm perceiving now, but that's the world I live in. I live in a world of space and creation and vast abundance, and I'm real excited to be here. What's going on with you?
Wow, so many phenomenal things, I wouldn't know where to begin, my brother. I want to generate some momentum with the questions because I feel sharper than ever, despite the fact that I've been up since 6 a.m. and covered so much ground. I'm thrilled. We are doing an event for women only that will be covered in the San Francisco Chronicles coming up. So I'm very excited about that. This is a whole new level. So really, really, really can't wait. So I think, gentlemen, we are ready to take your questions. Simple. Say your name, the city you're calling from, and what you would like help with. So who would like to begin? Are we going for the long silence? By the way, for anyone who's new, this is happening every Monday. So make it a must. Put it in your calendars. In the meantime, what questions would you have? And it's a reminder that I give every Monday since 2004, since we first started. Seize every opportunity to voice yourself. You have been conditioned to exercise a false form of politeness where you let somebody else go first. Yeah, let the other guy or girl get laid before you know. At a social level, be a social leader. You've also been conditioned to dodge your questions or to think you have no question or to passively listen. Seduction, pickup, social arts are not the place where you do that. So it's always a little effort. That's one thing, brother, that's one thing that helped me a lot initially. I would seize all the minimal opportunities to put myself up front in the spotlight just a little bit. Simple thing as when it would make sense not to pass too close to the terrace, I would pass a little closer. It was uncomfortable, but it was the right thing to condition myself. In an elevator, I wouldn't wait for somebody to say, hey, what floor are you going? Take the lead. It doesn't seem much. Many would say, oh, you know, but it wasn't a real pickup. Generates momentum. It conditions a habit that will be ready for you when real pickup is happening. So use the Monday call also for that, to be the social leader, to step up.
Hey, Vince, it's Morgan. Can you hear me?
Yes. So what would be your question? We'll pass it to Arash to keep the back and forth dynamic. So how can we help you today?
Actually, I'm from Miami. I just moved here 6 months ago. I had a quick question about, are you guys going to host a live event coming up soon?
You said you were in Hawaii?
I'm in Miami.
You're in Miami now. So, yes, we're hosting live events all the time. We have 4 coming up this month. They are usually Hollywood or San Jose, and many travel the distance. It's well worth it. Or we also stream them, live stream, and with time difference or work matters, we secure a HD recording that you'll get within 48 hours, DVD downloads of the event. So you either are welcome to travel the distance or be on the live stream. And if you miss part of it, or even if you watch the whole thing as it is being streamed, right after you get the recordings and you get to watch them again and again, pause as you please. So maybe if you want to know about the next 4 events coming up, best would be to message me or send me a quick email, vince@seductioncoaching.com. So.
Oh, sure, definitely.
All right. So,
can I ask one more quick question? Last week was Miami Music Week. It's one of the biggest weeks in Miami. So I went to a bunch of events, a bunch of pool parties, and I was practicing. My friends always make fun of me because they say I'm not afraid to open. They say I'm the opening machine. So I went out. It was definitely a different vibe. Lots of girls, lots of actually, my friends were saying there were Instagram models there. And I can get into conversation, and then things go pretty well. But one thing that I'm trying to go back through is I'm trying to go back to the mystery method to kind of work on. Something I think I need to work on is qualifying the girl more. In conversation, do you guys have any advice for that?
I'll pass it to Arash.
Yes. When you say I'm trying to go back to the mystery method, that's very general. Like, what do you mean?
I'm just trying to critique my pickup right now, and I'm reading the Pickup Artist again just to kind of go through the formula.
Right. So what's the question then? Because that's right. What's the question?
So, I'll go in and I'll throw DHV spikes and in the conversation I'll neg more, and then I feel like at a point I just need to qualify the girl more to make her kind of, I guess, chase me a little more. So I was wondering if you guys had any times or any advice on how to, I guess, just qualify more.
Let me explain something to you. I did a one-on-one this weekend. The guy came, and I told him, before you come, you need to read the mystery method. So he did. He was a model. He is a model. Okay, the guy is a model. Very good-looking guy. Six-pack, buff, like, you know what you would imagine light-skinned black man models would look like, right? And he came, and he said, I have a bunch of questions. I said, okay, let's go. And then he said to me something similar to what you said. And I said, so what's a DHV? Can you explain it to me? Because you just said DHV spikes, right? And he couldn't explain it. So I said, how do you qualify? He couldn't explain it. And so he had all these words that he didn't even understand, right? It's one thing to say, because here's what I heard you say. I heard you say, I do DHV spikes, and then I neg, and I feel like I need to qualify her. Those are so technical. So before I fully answer, and I'm not going to take too long because it's going to be too much, let me just ask you a specific question. Can you demonstrate to me right now an example of a DHV spike? How does that sound? Give me one.
Sure. Usually I'll talk about my move. I recently just moved to Miami. So if I want to kind of bring a little more emotion into it and I want to do a DHV spike, I'll say, hey, recently...
No, do it. Just talk to me. Tell me what you do. I'm the girl.
So recently the company I worked for actually ended up being bought out. And they actually moved the headquarters to Miami. and they said they really wanted. I always introduce myself as Captain Morgan, so they said they wanted Captain Morgan to really to come out to Miami, and it was actually really hard because I had family and friends. I'm actually a line dancer, so I used to go out line dancing 4 nights a week with this big group, and we always had tons of fun. And when it came time, it was hard to leave that family. But my friends were like, you have to go out there. You have to follow your dreams. You have to give it a try. So
stop right there. Who told you that? Who gave you that advice in the story? You said who told you that in the story?
My friends.
You said my. Okay, boom. A demonstration of a lower value. You had it. It was okay. But right there, you been incongruent, right? Let me tell you something. My friends don't need to give me advice about following my dreams. So here's what happened. I was working in this big, huge fucking company, and I don't, here's how I believe. As a man, you have to make money. Now, I don't know as a female whether you like that or not, but let me give you some advice. As a friend, okay? We're friends. You and I are friends, yes? Good. Nice to meet you. AZD, Arise Apart, motherfucking Dibazar. I could have any woman in here. You point them out, I'll get them. In fact, we'll play a game later. I'll find you a mate, you find me a mate, okay? Fuck, you remind me of my cousin. Anyways, I'm talking fast because my mind is fast, but that's why I'm drinking and smoking so I could slow the fuck down. I know I'm a trip. Listen to this shit. So I work at this company, and they pay me a fucking shitload of money. Captain Morgan, that's me, right? They move, they get bought out. Long story short, Miami, city of fucking lies, whatever the fuck Miami is, I don't know. Fun, this and that. And I don't want to come because I have a good fucking life, believe me, right? But at the same time, I love adventure. Do you love adventure? Do you like change? I know you don't like change, but you love adventure probably. You adventurous? I'll decide that later. Now, I moved here. Long story short, when I'm moving here, you know what my friends are saying to me? You're secure. You're safe. You have all this money. You know everybody. And you know what I said to them? Hey, fuck you. If you don't want me to expand, then don't give me advice. Okay, pause. So I told your story up to this point, and then we switched what you said to your friends were telling you, or people were telling you, or your girlfriend was telling you, and I just told her, baby, just come over there. Okay? We're going to be living in a fucking loft, right? We're going to be partying all night with, watch this, with the most beautiful women. Like, this is life, right? So, pause. Okay? Now, this should be enough for you to see by the way, you did well, okay? I was surprised. So, good job. But this is how I would tighten it. And let's end this now here so that we can move to the next question, or unless this has something to say about it. Otherwise, we'll just talk fair about it. Do you get what I'm saying? There was just a little bit tighter application of what you did, and I stopped you when you were about to DLV, demonstrate full value. Your friends don't give you advice about following your dreams. Why would they? You're the tribal leader. You could say I could say my friend DK, he was on CNN, he was on Steve, I'm sure you've seen him. I mean, he's the fucking man. He's like a rock star. Anyways, VK, he's the guy, he was the guy telling me too, Arash, you're the fucking guy that can take any risk, man. I've worked with Tony Robbins, this and that, and you embody all that philosophy. And that's why he's my friend. You have to meet him, by the way. Fucking rock star, but it'd be cool when you meet him, okay? Boom, end of story. You see, that's how you talk. But not this fast. I'm speaking fast because of time. It's done like this. It's a little bit slower. So I was in Miami, all right? And it depends. And then I can pick it up when I get excited. And your communication has to be able to do this, to this, to you won't even believe this, to can you believe that shit, to bam. And you're like a entertaining story. Nobody wants to hear someone talk like this the whole time, just like this. Okay? End of answer.
By the way, a quick irrelevant question on my side. Which island in Hawaii?
Oh, sorry, it's Miami, Florida.
No, but before you said you just relocated. So prior, you were where?
I was in Virginia.
In Virginia, okay. So I don't know where I picked up Hawaii, but check this out, okay? So I want you to think of moments when you trying to qualify yourself in any conversation or communication. When there's two, there's always one that's a little more affirmed and the other one that's kind of trying to prove themselves, okay? I'm sure you've experienced that dynamic. So personally, my qualification starts from the get-go with the following understanding. Okay? The DHV, the goal, is to add value, but not at a level of me having to prove myself. I come from the following frame. And frames are the foundation. That's what comes first, okay? Because you could do the right thing from the wrong frame. You could plant the wrong seed, the right seed, at the wrong place. So I come in knowing that most people are fucking retarded when they communicate. Why? Because they take communication for granted and they never go beyond the basics. And since they can get by and communicate every day, and the words they use are most of the time sufficient to order food, to talk with someone, they take it for granted. So it's a problem on their part, and I know that it's not going to go very far if I depend on them, because they're not good storytellers. They are probably not living very exciting lives in my own standard. So I come in, and I generate automatically the dynamic of the other person having to qualify themselves, because in my own mind, my frame is like, okay, her conversation skills probably suck, other than autopilot stuff, like, oh, why are you saying that, and so on. So it's going to go nowhere if I depend on her. So I'm going to toss loads of value to add, not prove myself, but add in the conversation. So I'm going to open all those doors, and that frame, that dynamic, causes right away the other person to feel like they might not be enough, you know? So then when you tell your story, the goal is to open as many doors as possible. Toss cities, toss this, things you've done. Not to prove yourself and not to impress. There's still residues of that for most guys, even if they're proficient with any method. And as you do that, you also have to make sure that the next level for you would be 3, 2, 1. Tell me your story. See, when I was at Project Hollywood, one of the guys who did a live-in with us, he paid a lot of money to be there and live with us, was a comedian from Australia. And I was always busy with girls, so one night I'm finally getting to talk with him. We're smoking a cigarette outside. And the guy, I go, what do you do? And he goes, I'm a comedian. I go, great, make me laugh. And he goes, well, usually what I do. I go, no, not usually what you do. I'm here right now. You can make me laugh right now. You can make an audience laugh. You can make girls laugh, okay? So I would recommend you practice not so much, oh, here's a girl, let me toss my DHV, but you live it more at any given time that you could entice any crowd. They'd be like, wow, who's that guy? Automatically, people will want to qualify. And then comes the point where as you raise the bar, so the idea is to set a standard that's high, that's rich. And there's a lot of fucking value in the conversation. But by value, I mean any good conversationalist could branch off, could be like asking you questions and so on. It's rich, okay? And then you toss it back at her, which will generate almost like a void where she goes, well, I don't know. And that's the moment where she has to qualify. And before the goal is to make her dream and give her little hints of, okay, this guy's fucking incredible. Now, you ask, you say you're going back to Mystery Method. I think that if I were you in your own shoes, I would go forward into the breakthroughs that have taken place those past couple of months and years. Things like the Vortex, okay? Celebrity Game, and all that new stuff, okay? So anything that was written some time ago has great value, but I think we're at a whole new level right now where we achieve a lot more with a lot less effort. And one thing, people are suckers. We've all been in a classroom where they were the teachers with whom we could do whatever the fuck we wanted. But there's also those that, even if we didn't like them, we would respect them. So we've been conditioned that certain modes of delivery command a certain behavior. And wherever you see a man who's more achieved, okay, that's more exposed, they tend to be a little more impactful when they talk. So constantly make headways with that, you know? So because remember, the hierarchy is this. The words are what come last. What comes before that is the tone of your voice. What comes before that is your body language. And what comes even before that is the energy, the vibe you radiate. So if you want people to qualify, you have to make it clear from the start that with a loving heart of a spiritual frame of, yes, there's that place where we're all one. But in my own life, as far as I'm concerned, you're a grain of fucking sand until you show me that you're a diamond. So get that edge from the start, okay? And where is that edge found usually? Last thing I say, in any guy that's a badass motherfucker that's happening. That edge. So you reproduce those responses and they want to qualify from the start because you enter with that edge. And guys, be very careful because what I observe a lot from those who are a little schooled, you know, they read a little bit and so on, is polluted pickup. Polluted because not in dramatic ways where the guy is trying to impress the girl with flowers, a serenade, and a big meal and constantly saying, oh, please accept me. But in subtle ways that are not there, that are not yet, that who are you? Prove yourself to me at the level of your own attitude, and you know that deep down inside. You don't just translate it through a story. So continue. Your story, you know, it was very interesting. Always do it for real time, okay? Real time would mean don't explain to somebody else what you would do. With your wings, with your buddies and so on, toss those stories. And yes, sometimes, okay, you're talking to a girl, you would never want to be with her because she's retarded or it's a fucking guy. Of course not. Nevertheless, impact. Sorry, brother, I was a little long, but we're ready for the next question.
Hey guys, it's Brian Marshall. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Brian. Good to have you on.
What's up, guys? Hey, I was just tuned in here a second ago, and I was listening to him talk about DHVs and also qualifying. And what I noticed when I was out with Arash, he did a really, really good job with me as far as DHVing me in my presence with other people. And he would simply say, this is Brian Marshall. He's the owner of Las Vegas nightclubs. He's a bad motherfucker, and blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? He would really lift me up, and then he would carry on through his conversation right there. It's almost like putting me on a really, really high status to where people automatically give me respect. And I think that's kind of like what he's trying to do there with the whole Miami move with the job. But I think he can possibly kind of condense it down a little bit more so it's a little more quicker. Does that make sense?
Arash, you there? Cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I didn't get a question. What's up, Brian?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good. Let me correct terminology here. It's
sure.
I didn't DHV you. I didn't DHV Brian. What I did is called the accomplishment intro. So when you introduce your partner, your friend in set, it's wise to do an accomplishment intro. What's this guy's accomplishment? Why am I hanging out with this guy? Right. So,
right.
Hey, let me introduce you. This is my brother. He's from he's from Texas. Brian Marshall. You've heard of Las Vegas nightclubs, I'm sure. Listen, if you go to Las Vegas, this is the guy. Well, he's the owner of Las Vegas nightclubs.com. Yeah. Oh, bad motherfucker. We're kicking that. What are you guys doing? Boom. That's called. This is what this guy's accomplished. It's an accomplishment intro. Now, a DHV is a demonstration of a higher value. Now, this is one of the most confusing concepts that people don't get. And I tell you what, until I have a one-on-one conversation with Mystery about this and clear it up what he meant, I've had to come up with my own understanding of it. And the reason why I will take my understanding over anything until I talk to him is that the definition I use is workable. So it could possibly be that when I speak with him, he gives me a definition, and if it doesn't match mine, I would have to say, listen, here's how I've applied it. And there is a possibility in that moment that word will change because it's happened before, okay? And that's all I don't want to get into it because I think if it's decoded the way I did it, which is if a man can demonstrate higher value, if you guys can get these 3 words the way I get it, it's like there's a spell, there's a magic in this. If you demonstrate higher value, the whole, not just the woman, the whole environment must shift around you. But that you would have to define value the way I define it in context of what we do, right? So what I did with Bar, everybody, is called an accomplishment intro. And if you want to learn game, you want to pick Kings of Pickup. The real Kings of Pickup. So what you need to do is whenever you're out with your buddies and friends, they're never losers, they're never beta. Why would you want to hang out? Why would a lion hang out with 2 sheep, right? So even if I know nothing about my friend, I just look at him and I go, this is Joe Schmo. This is one bad motherfucker that you would want to know. Trust me. Isn't that a good one? Just some dumb shit like that, okay? You know, I introduced Tigran. Tigran's a little white guy. He's my student. He almost looks and sounds gay. But he had a very beautiful girlfriend he just broke up with. She was one of the most beautiful girls I've seen, straight up. And he went out with me Saturday. And by the end of the night, he had women just hanging on his nuts. Here was my intro, right? Look at me, how I am, guys. And then he would walk up. I said, oh, this is my rich white friend, Tigran. That's it. This is my rich white friend, Tigran. And then I was like this. Oh, yeah, he's rich. Trust me. That's it.
That's it.
That's like introducing a friend to you like this. Here's Jenny, my big boob, big titted, skinny girlfriend. Nice. Introduce yourself. That's basically what I said. Here's my white rich friend. Oh, he's rich. Trust me. That's enough for the night. You understand?
So that's an accomplishment intro right there itself.
Absolutely.
Also,
Absolutely.
it's almost like a DHV, though, too, in itself, and it works on its own. Wouldn't you say?
It can be. It can be, but I think we should keep that conversation for another moment. It can be, because otherwise we'll just keep going back and forth. So, okay, that's it for that.
Brian, thank you for pointing that out. Thank you for pointing that out, because no one on the planet gives an accomplishment intro like Arash does. You know?
Right.
And the first few times that he did it to me, I was like, oh, fuck, I need to find I need to reciprocate there. So, which in a way is a DHV, not to get caught in the terminology. And brother, Arash, I really mean this, like your accomplishment intros are surreal, and I find them to be, from my own unique angle to observe, an absolute DHV, because, guys, be with me for a second, even more. We've all been in the situation where you're starting to be a little more proficient with pickup, and you have an uninformed buddy with you. And what do they often do? They often do the opposite. They lower your value, which automatically lowers theirs. Okay, you take 2 schmucks that are unaware, put them in a nightclub, and they're both in the presence of one woman. Rapidly, their way to value themselves will be to knock down the other guy. And women are not blind. They're aware of that. So come on, practice, which devalues the whole fucking thing. Because one thing with women is that they're exposed. They're not educated, but they're exposed. And there's still an inner intelligence that senses, So they've seen plenty of guys who suddenly one is talking, the other one is interrupting him, and so on. So the simple fact that a man can powerfully introduce their friend subcommunicates a lot of security, subcommunicates also a lot of importance, because only important people are around important people, and creates an amazing contrast compared to the guys that talk over each other and start to fight over her. Plus also, speaking of the mystery method, all the basic attraction switches, a protector of loved ones, a leader of men, when the woman can witness that the guy starts to diss his friend in front of him, what kind of a protector of loved ones would that be? That's the kind of man that the moment she's not around, right? You get it, guys. And I know Brian, you get it so fast. And what kind of a leader of men that would be. So my experience with Arash has been that the introduction feels super good. Yes, it changes the energy all around. And then rapidly the focus goes even more on him for not only having friends like that around, but also for being a man of that caliber. And I like also simple things. Sometimes you go back to the basics. It's usually the more achieved, accomplished people that will introduce first and last name. Okay? It's a common practice. Hollywood, the people who are a bit more achieved, they go, this is Vince, Kelvin. They don't go, oh, this is my friend Vince. So make it a habit for you. That's basic. That's non-pickup, but that's a great plus. Introduce yourself first and last name. And oftentimes, again, it creates, because all is sub-communication. You know what, at least the way I operate with my game, I duplicate, I create responses based on duplicating what is found only when those responses are there. So it's a form of reverse engineering. So I notice, okay, when people try hard to qualify, when there's a celebrity and everybody wants to be around them and prove themselves, what comes before that on the side of the other person? Of course, they are a celebrity, but at the same time, it's all sub-communication. So a super quick announcement. There's a chopper behind me. I hope it's not distracting the call. The call will be brief. And we have so much coming up this month. I work it a little bit backwards. At the end of the month, you, if you're an insider, have been informed of it already. General public, it has not been voiced yet. We're doing something very exclusive through the GSLR, a more exclusive VIP opportunity of the GSLR with the 4 bests. I keep it at this for now, but heads up, and if you're an insider, you know, it's big. It's as big as Forbidden Teaching. It's a longer event, which involves more people. The week prior to that, the week of the 14th, we are doing our monthly for those who have the membership and join all of our monthly events with Arash and I. And that one will be in San Jose, and it will be focused on the topic that you guys all want and have been asking forever, and the topic that no one has mastered like Arash. So very thrilled to be there as well myself, which will be managing multiple women. It's called Concubine Krishna, because Krishna had 1,000 concubines, and he would enlighten and empower them, not like a harem or anything like that. So for that, if you have membership, heads up. If not, you'll hear about it. And this coming up weekend, one of the core of all my models, I call it a module, originally was called the multidimensional male model, but now since we're helping women as well and we're going beyond pickup, I renamed it the multidimensional human module. There's a tendency for people to be unidimensional, which is like a car with just one tire. Okay? There's also a lot of confusion around the different qualities that you want to balance, like the 4 elements. Many are confused. They don't really know alpha. They don't have a reference, so they quickly become a little too harsh. Or they hear the word be authentic and they become a little too weak. So what I will address is how to access existing resources within you to be more alpha, decisive, dominant, authentic, genuine, real, and wild, entertaining, fun, touch of craziness, just to spike it up, as well as very wise, very enriching, very enlightening, informative, I'm going to say. Then each one has a delivery mode, which helps you shift. Quick question, gentlemen. Attraction, which one do you think? A little shock, wild, okay? So that attracts curiosity. If you stay in that mode, it becomes too much. So then comfort, authentic. Oh, wow, the guy's real. And then what do you take it from there? Well, many guys, they stay unauthentic when they want to escalate or close. There you go to more alpha, dominant. I tell you what, you know, you're fun. I don't know you. wisdom. I don't know you. It's true. It's wise. You're fun, but I don't know you. So you learn how to balance those and when to tap into which mode, and you can manage your entire life with that, because anything you go after, money, your career, and so on, if you go only one mode, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Example, there are people who hold on to their money. Saving is smart, but they create a block. Then there's people who are careless and never pay attention to it. There's people who continuously make more but never really enjoy it. So you got to learn how to balance those four elements. I'm doing, you can change all the time. Some events will be up to $1,500, the one I referred to, last one of the month. I also, like to create motion. So for this one, this Saturday, it's 5 hours, streaming, in person, you name it. I went for a different model. It's 40 at 40, okay? 40 at 40. And we're getting very close to that. So this is your call for it, 40 at 40. It's a little gift also. We just had Easter, so, we may raise it to 50, but it's going to be about a certain amount that we'll decide when we shut it down. So we take one last question, and then that's it for tonight.
Real quick, Vince,
yeah?
When is your GSLR again? When did you say? Is that in September?
It is produced by the GSLR. There is the GSLR in September, but what I'm talking about is GSLR. We're putting together a very exclusive event on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd.
Okay.
And we are duplicating a little bit topping, but the format is similar to what we had done when we had a mention. It was called the Forbidden Teaching. And we took 10 guys for 1 weekend in the mansion, and we're going to we're going to touch on the 4 main topics of life, and there will be 4 experts, Arash, myself, plus 2 other experts, and that's coming on the 21st. But you will hear about it within 48 hours.
Okay, sounds good.
Insider check in with either Arash, me. I almost gave it away by saying Frank White and Brian Casella. Oh, fuck, I gave it away completely. So checking with any one of us. Last question. We keep it at this for tonight.
Well, maybe I could like let me ask you something. Like what he was saying about qualifications. Some qualifications that I use. Would you say this is a pretty good one? Is say, I'll say to her. So, what are your 3 best qualities? Is that a good qualifier right there? Or who do you admire in life? Or what are your best 3 qualities? Those are good qualification questions, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but that's not okay. You're right, and you could probably come up with a million qualification questions. However,
right.
It's not the question that qualifies. Okay,
it's the delivery.
Yes, but there's more than that. It's the timing. For qualification, it's timing. Okay, what does that mean? What have I've observed? Of course, everything I tell you I've observed, I should first say I've made the mistake of, okay, and then say then I've observed, because, we go through the mistakes and our lessons. So I've observed that a person will prematurely look at her and say, so what are your 3 best qualities? And that's a good question to ask at the right time, not at the wrong time. So when do you think would be
after A3?
Okay, yeah, I get that. That's just a word. So tell me how. Like, what's happening? What are you feeling? Give us an example of when you should ask her a question like, what are 3 best, or what do you admire in life? Those are great. I love those questions. But
usually, like after the boy to girl, and then girl to boy, and then up there's like a little awkward silence, and then right there would be a good time to ask for a good qualification to bring into the picture.
Yes, I understand that. Wait, who's asking? Who am I talking to first? I didn't hear the question.
This is Brian Marshall.
Right. So here's what happens. So the person, here's qualification, right? And we hear it's when the girl is attracted to the guy, right? After the girl is attracted to the guy. Correct. But it's here. Get this, everybody. This is how I apply it, and it's lethal at this point. She says something, or I've been talking, she's been listening, or something. I've been lost in the moment. And suddenly, after she's given me enough indications that she wants to be with me, right? And I refused the first one. I refused the second. I refused. I don't buy it. That's great. Yeah, I know I got tattoos. Yeah. Okay, I'm sure you got tattoos. Oh, okay. Does it hurt? Whatever. But not like that rude. But anyways, I've now made her work for it. And I could tell she likes me. Now I have to like her. So in the middle of talking to her, or she's saying something, I stop. And I go, you know what? You're different than I thought. What do you mean? Well, you're different. Look, when I first showed up, let me tell you what I saw. A super pretty girl with black hair, Now, I'm not into girls with black hair. You would think otherwise because 3 out of my 4 girlfriends have black hair. Yeah, 4 girlfriends, yes. We'll talk about that later. But the point I'm making is, it's not that I don't like black hair. I just have too many girls with black hair. I'm now attracted to blonde. So, of course, when I saw you, I was like, there's a very pretty girl who could probably be a good friend of mine, and I'm sure we could be friends. But here's what I'm saying. And then your impression was like, okay, whatever, to be honest with you. But now that we've been talking, I got to tell you, there's something more. So I'm curious. And this is a question that's important, actually. Who do you admire in life? Where do you get these ideas from? Where do you get your values? Did you grow up admiring like a family member or a teacher, or was it a book that you read? You see? Done.
Yeah,
end of story.
Gotcha.
Now, guys, look at that goddamn fucking timing and delivery of it. And we're going over the phone right now on a fucking podcast. Imagine the beautiful girl sitting in front of me hearing that. She raps into that. And then she'll turn and say, well, okay, everybody get it? But great question. This is a great podcast tonight, guys. Great question.
Yeah, I'm going to get on these more. These are great.
I want to bring up a critical point, which is critical mass. Give you an example. Anyone with a cell phone and a decent camera function on the cell phone can take a picture. There are many songs that it wouldn't take very long before you can play them a little bit if you pick up an instrument. It wouldn't take very long for someone to be able to understand the basic concept of playing basketball, right? But there's always the one pro photographer that it was the same camera, it was the same caption, but wow, there's something extra in it, okay? Or the musician, there's many songs that have been karaokeed 1,000 times or played by cover bands 10,000s of times, but there's nothing like the original. It grabs your guts, all of you. So it's the little nuances around that you accumulate through time. That's why continuous education will bring you to that place of critical mass. And what do I mean? Is critical mass, to me, real attraction is simple. It's about creating the most significant contrast with what they're exposed to prior. Okay? And when you reach that place of critical mass, then everything flips around. And everything that was a concern is no longer a concern. You don't need to even think about qualification because they qualify themselves. You don't need to think about those things anymore. Comes a time when the pro player of guitar doesn't think, let me play a C and a D. The fingers just fucking follow. And then somebody said, that was a C. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just play. Okay. So here are 2 little distinctions that will help you with qualification. They are not it, but they are part of it. Okay? The first one, I always love to do the preamp because overall, the attention span of people, we see it when we're teaching or performing, is very limited. All of us, if we don't apply ourselves. So we cannot rely on that. So to create a sense of, okay, give me a little more, I demand a little bit more. So often I may say, now, ready? Question of the day. And you notice how I emphasize this. You cannot see my body language, but at the end I will fold my arms. Not in a way where I'm closed, more like I'm the authority. Where do you witness that? The boss asking the employee a question? Okay. So my experience has been that sometimes I throw the same question without the preamp, and they don't apply themselves as much, and then it's not even so much the question itself, it's just that preamp that, I better, or saying, but before you answer, that will say a lot about you. Okay? So that's one distinction. Make sure that you boost and demand and command a more attention. Apply yourself. Basically, the message would be apply yourself now. Okay? Of course, it's from the core. At the core, you constantly refine, almost like you're cleaning a pot, and it's cleaner, but there's still some at the bottom. Clean, 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 constantly to go deeper into a pure place of not having to prove or not trying to impress. And we have so grown up into that, and it's still inclined, animal species, the male does his little thing, that's more often than we know it. We still, minimally, but too much, still coming from a place of trying to impress or prove, and there it doesn't matter what you do, it's always tends to come across the wrong way. The second one is to also know that you cannot demand from people more than they're capable to give at the time. So as much as we are qualifying, we don't want to make it as difficult as the bar exam or as difficult as they make it in school. You want to help a little bit, okay? So watch have 3 renditions, okay? Some are ready, you go, give me one reason why I should talk to you right now. But the majority will go, I don't know. And then it's counterproductive because now you did impact, but what you created was a state of not really knowing, which makes them more vulnerable. You still can work with that. But if you don't have the chops to work with that, then it creates a little confusion, and confusion leads to awkwardness. Okay?
Yep.
So sometimes you help a little bit, and you go, if you were to tell me one little thing about you. And some, they need a little example. So sometimes, just the same way you could take a test where they wait for you to write a long answer. You give in like one paragraph to answer. One where one correct answer is expected, or one answer, and one where you give the answers, choice of answer, A, B, C. So my favorite qualification question, I amp it up from the place of, I don't know you. How can I know who you are? So show me, impress me. Okay? She has to impress me. And then I pay attention also, because oftentimes what fucks up the qualification is that if she didn't respond that well, many guys loop it and take it back to taking it personally and think that it didn't work, and that ruins the qualification. Okay? Mm-hmm. The real qualification would be like if she goes, you go, oh, wow, that's impressive, and you tease her. And that's when I usually escalate. I come in and go, oh, wow, that's very impressive. You crack me up, and I hold the hand at that moment because she's a little embarrassed. So I will go, okay, interesting. Now, here is the question, the mother of all question. We're going to figure you out, ladies. And then I say, okay, maybe give me a little drum roll. And them. And now I ask one question, and I divide it into 3 answers, okay? Shopping. Totally compulsive, pre-plan, or random. Which one? Or you go swimming pool, your own swimming pool in your backyard. It's free. You go for Olympic, you go for something crazy, shape it like a star or a heart, or, kind of the resort type of pool. Which one? And then sometimes to qualify also, when they start to answer, you shut them up. You go, wait, I forgot to mention. It's a very important question, and you make them laugh. Okay? And the real qualification is, okay, is her answer enriching you? Are you learning something? Are you laughing? Are you surprised because you never thought of it that way? Okay? Is it shocking? So that's what you pay attention. That's how they qualify. But if it's average, standard, boring, then they don't qualify. So start to make them feel that. You go, oh, my God, I'd love to listen to ours more of that. And the real qualification also is that delivery that's above average, that automatically, on one hand, triggers the conditioned response. When else did they witness that? Well, whenever something was happening significant and so on, because only people who think of themselves that way dare to talk that way. And on the other hand, it's enriching and it's superior, so it's appealing. Automatically, naturally, they will start to invest. I think that's a good place to end it tonight.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
Check in with us for all those events, you know. It's a powerful month because that's entering the second quarter of the year already, okay? So keep that in mind. It's already the second quarter, which means after that, half a year. So don't be like those fools who only check in once a year for New Year's. Reboot, decide, we're with you all the fucking way, and we're at it so strong that if you were to hear an hour from now, we're going to have a podcast, and you ask us the same question, and you pay attention, you're going to be, oh, fuck. It was just 1 hour, but I can tell by their answer that they've already grown. So keep coming back or start with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
My brother.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Brian, and thank you, my brother Raj Zepar, motherfucking Dibazar.
Thank you, guys.
Time and mind.
See you guys soon.
All right.
Peace.
All right, bye. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.